Next up in the men's middleweight division, we've got Jordan Williams coming in against Nassourdine, the Russian sniper Imavov.
This is going to be a good one on paper. I think you look at Nassourdine, he trains with the likes of Cyril Garnet and Francis Ngannou over in France. And I mean, that team is just, they've got some serious killers on there. Naturally, Nassourdine's a welterweight, I believe, at the top of my head, but he's a big welterweight. I think he's about 6'3", so obviously capable of competing at middleweight. Whereas you look at Jordan Williams, 9-3, 7 of those wins come via form of knockout. So it'll be an interesting matchup on paper. Nassourdine, he can compete on the ground as well, but technically in the striking department, I've got to back Jordan on this fight. It's a close one to call. Nassourdine looks like a right killer. Like I said, trains with Ngannou as well as Cyril Garnet. So it's going to be tough to go against Nassourdine on this one, but I just think Jordan will be able to outland Nassourdine very early on and sort of pick him apart and potentially get the finish later on. So I'm going to go for a Williams fight, 3rd round TKO.
Nice. Yeah, this one could be really interesting. Jordan Williams impressed me. I mean, he just fought on the Contender Series, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And the guy he fought looked like freaking RoboCop. Like that Gregory Rodriguez guy was jacked. And Jordan Williams, I mean, I think he came in there and proved what somebody that's hungry and that wants the fight. He was taking some shots, man. I mean, I think I text Zack 4 or 5 times and thinking, I don't know how this guy's gonna make it, and then he pulls off a phenomenal knockout to get his UFC contract. If I'm not mistaken, he's a diabetic as well. So the guy's a grinder. I don't like betting against the Russians, even though he's fighting out of France right now. I hate betting against the Russians, man, but I love Jordan Williams. I love what he did in his last fight. Nassourdine, he's coming up from the welterweight, but he was a big welterweight. He was like James said, he's 6'3", he's big, he's long, he's going to probably be bigger than Jordan, but I think Jordan proved in his last fight it doesn't really matter, and he can take a shot. So I'm gonna back Jordan Williams on this one as well.
If the Jordan Williams showed up 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago at the Dana White Contender Series, I think he wins the fight. Like you said, Jason already kind of covered it. But the one thing that I look at with it is his experience versus his opponents here is, Dana White Contender Series, 3 fights on the Dana White Contender Series, handful of fights in Bellator. He's been on the big stage before. This may be his actual UFC debut, but he's been on the big stage before, where his opponent, not here, in UFC Dana White Contender Series Bellator type shows, and I was really impressed with him. I do not think this one goes to a decision. I think somebody gets finished, so I'm going to go with Jordan Williams with a 2nd round knockout.
I'm going to go against the group a little bit. While I was very impressed with Jordan Williams on his Contender Series fight, and I do agree that in terms of just strictly striking, if they were going to stand there and punch each other in the face until one of them was done, I think Jordan Williams is definitely the better man in terms of the striking and the ability to take a strike. But I do think that Imavov, in addition to a lot of the times you'll see where one guy has the size advantage and the other guy has kind of the skill set advantage, where he's got the wrestling and the submissions mixed in with the striking. But in this case, we have the bigger man also having the skill set advantage. He's got kind of a variety of submission finishes under his belt. It may not have been against as high of a level of competition, but I think that's going to show as we get a little deeper into the fight. He's going to be able to spread out his offense a little bit more, as opposed to Jordan Williams, who I think if Jordan Williams was going to win the fight, it's going to either be via a grind of a brawl to a decision or a KO that he gets. But I think the varied skill set and the size is going to come in big for the Russians. So I'm going to actually take Imavov via round 2 or 3 submission.